How was it that Yoda actually tricked Darth Sidious in their final fight, and in the process saved the life of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Greetings, Acolytes, and welcome back to the Archives. In the moments before Darth Vader's mutilation, Sidious comments that he senses that Lord Vader was in danger, prompting him to immediately prep his shuttle for immediate takeoff to Mustafar. This disturbance of the dark side was actually not the first time that Palpatine had a bad feeling about Anakin though. In his venture to Mustafar, as we learn in the Revenge of the Sith novelization, he actually had an inkling that Anakin was in danger before this. In fact, it occurred right before Padme's ship had ever landed on the volcanic world. Sidious warned his apprentice that he sensed a great danger, but then Palpatine quickly dismissed that danger following, leaving Anakin alone to face Obi-Wan. But why exactly did Palpatine dismiss his premonition of danger for Anakin in the first place? And how was it that Yoda was the one who ultimately tricked Palpatine into doing so? Well, my friends, let's open up another holocron and find out one of the fatal mistakes of Darth Sidious at the dawn of his empire. Before we begin, however, we know that you are not so prone to trickery, but there are more mysteries that need to be revealed about a galaxy far, far away. So, in order to find them, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you may increase your knowledge of the Force and more. Now, let us begin. This event occurs during the holo transmission that Vader and Palpatine were having moments before Padme's arrival to Mustafar. When her ship entered atmosphere, secretly carrying Obi-Wan, the Emperor's alarm bells started going off. Sidious immediately warned Vader that he believed that he was in danger and that he needed to be very careful. Anakin saw the ship on the control room sensors and immediately recognized who it was. This caused Anakin to completely disregard his master's warning, stating in his mind, yeah, in danger of being kissed to death maybe. After this, their transmission ended, and Anakin went off to greet Padme. But back on Coruscant, Palpatine swiveled his chair to see Grand Master Yoda entering his office. His physical presence meant nothing. Palpatine only cared for his presence in the Force. He was a fountain of light. It was Yoda's exact presence in this very moment that likely made Palpatine rethink his earlier concerns for Vader. In this moment, Sidious was tricked into believing the danger he sensed was not for Darth Vader, but it was for Yoda. His suspicion was confirmed, at least to himself, after learning from Yoda that it was Obi-Wan who was sent to stop Anakin. To this thought, Palpatine thought amusing, as he believed of anyone, Obi-Wan was the least likely to be able to stop Vader. Palpatine thought Obi-Wan was weak and inferior as it stood, and he mentioned that Vader would take pleasure in crushing him just for the fun of it. When Sidious came to this conclusion, he let his guard down, not in front of Yoda mind you, but he let his guard down concerning Obi-Wan and Vader in the coming confrontation. Letting go of that thought, he focused entirely on the green creature in his office. The thing about Sidious is that he is always future-minded, in direct contrast to the Jedi who emphasize being present and mindful of the moment. Sidious, though, is ever thinking of the future, always planning, and always looking beyond the horizon with his clairvoyance. Sidious was renowned for his ability of foresight, and there were very few things that escape Sidious's notice unless they are strong enough to be hidden somehow. But this is likely what Yoda did in this moment, by forcing Palpatine's attention to where he was, rather than where his apprentice was. The Grand Master needed to buy Obi-Wan as much time as possible. He couldn't risk the Emperor sending reinforcements to Vader. Our theory is that Obi-Wan made sure to contact Yoda and tell the Grand Master when he was in the position to engage Darth Vader, while Kenobi had to wait for them to travel all the way from Coruscant to Mustafar. All Yoda needed to do was catch a ride from Bail Organa. We know canonically that Yoda and Obi-Wan engaged the Sith at the exact same time, so Yoda obviously waited for Kenobi's confirmation and then entered the Senate building. The reason for this, if Sidious believed that he felt a disturbance, it would be for Yoda and not for Vader. This is the exact reason why Yoda allowed Sidious to know Obi-Wan was the one facing down Darth Vader, so Sidious's overconfidence in his apprentice would further the deception. But now, Yoda has finally tricked the Emperor and caused him to draw all of his attention to the present moment, forcing him to take his clairvoyant eye away from Vader for the duration of his duel with Yoda. Of course though, this is not to say that this was Yoda's only mission, as he had every intention of killing Sidious in this duel. However, one of the tertiary goals was ensuring that Palpatine wasn't able to sense Vader's endangerment from Kenobi until the final moment. It is our theory that Obi-Wan Kenobi was supposed to strike down Darth Vader before Yoda was to kill Sidious, and with the death of his apprentice, Sidious would feel a massive disturbance in the Force that would distract him momentarily, drawing his focus away from Yoda and to Vader, giving Yoda the perfect opportunity to strike the fatal blow. A lapse in concentration is all that Yoda needed, but Yoda didn't anticipate two things: how powerful Sidious actually was, and how long it would take Kenobi to defeat Skywalker. In the novelization, it states that Yoda was absolutely horrified by just how powerful Sidious actually was, and stated that he could have imagined something terrible, but not as terrible as Sidious. Yoda even states that he's fighting a duel against the Dark Lord that the Jedi have already lost. They had lost for thousands of years at this point, and they lost the moment that the Sith transformed into the rule of two. The Sith had completely changed, and it wasn't lightsabers that could solve this problem. Because of this, the tables had completely switched against Yoda, and he was unable to defeat Sidious how he thought he might have. And this is why Yoda stated to Bail Organa that he failed the Jedi. Yoda even believed that since he had failed against Sidious, that Obi-Wan would fail too, and that Vader would soon kill him. However, it was only after all the fighting had calmed that Sidious finally realized that Vader was in danger, not himself, springing to action and only taking a few minutes for Palpatine to arrive on Mustafar. However, Obi-Wan had already defeated Anakin and left him for dead. Sidious's worst fears were realized when he saw his half-dead apprentice lying in ruin on the Black Beach. Yoda's plan of deception had actually worked, but things just didn't go the way the whole plan had been envisioned. The Jedi just couldn't win this one. He could defeat Sidious, and yet the Jedi would still never return. The Jedi had lost already. The galaxy had turned against all of them, and Darth Vader was still alive. And yet, Yoda had stopped the worst part of Darth Vader being inflicted on the galaxy by stalling Sidious. This way he had to ensure Vader's handicap, which gave a slight glimmer of hope by depriving Sidious of his grand prize. But anyway, my friends, this is how Yoda actually managed to trick Palpatine into ignoring Obi-Wan as a viable threat to Anakin, and was able to, in a way, cloud his vision during their final confrontation. But anyway, my friends and acolytes, what are your thoughts on this? And did you catch on to this massive detail on the plan of the Jedi to take out Sidious and Vader? As always, my friends, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.